Vargas, former two-division world champion. Good to see you here. Everybody talk Canelo, Golovkin. I gotta get your thoughts. Can you break this down for me?
It's a good fight. It's a fight that has been in the build-up for several years, and it's finally here. The fans are excited. You know, they've been waiting for this moment for quite some time now. And now we're gonna find out who's the real middleweight champion.
How long have you been aware of Canelo? Like, people were talking about him since he was 20, coming up in Mexico, or younger than that. I mean, how long you been noticing Canelo?
I've been knowing of him or hearing about him since 2010.
Yeah.
It was when he was, I think it's when he called out Chavez Jr. For the very first time in Mexico, in Guadalajara. And from then on, we fought on the same shows, on the Mayweather-Ortiz.
Yeah, he fought Cotto's younger brother.
I think Cotto's younger brother, and then Mosley, Mayweather.
Right.
He fought Alfonso Gomez. If I'm not mistaken, you know, it's around those. I believe it was that day that he fought Alfonso Gomez. So we fought on the same card several times.
Yeah.
He's a good fighter. He's one of the best of our time, and you know, he's doing a good job. He's proving all the doubters wrong. There's been occasions where I thought he was in a tough fight and maybe he wasn't going to be able to get the victory, but he did. So he's a fighter that always comes to win. Always finds a way to win.
Gotcha. What about Gennady Golovkin? What are your thoughts on him?
Gennady Golovkin, he's a fighter that he's one of the most respected fighters in the game. Not to mention one of the most powerful punchers in the game. You know, his record says it alone. Very good fighter. Very good fighter at mainly at the distance. He's not the best. I can't say he's a fighter. He could be the best fighter in the inside. You know, that's what I've noticed. But we'll find out this Saturday.
He needs like space to operate, is what you're saying? Or?
Yeah, he's more comfortable when he has distance and he has space, and you know he's at his perfect range. It's when he's more effective.
How do their styles match up with each other, though? How would you think?
Match up nicely. I see two fighters, two technicians, and they're really having to outsmart one another. You know what I mean? You got to be on top of your game. Being Gennady and being Canelo, you have to think first and be alert. That way you can instantly react to whatever the opponent is going to do.
Did Golovkin, do you think he looked old against Jacobs? Some people feel he looked a little past it. What do you think of how he looked?
You just have Jacobs, that's one of the best middleweights in the division. That's all it is. I mean, look at his amateur pedigree. He has a bigger amateur pedigree than Canelo does. So he knows how to fight a style that Canelo isn't very familiar with, just because of that amateur background. I mean, you have to understand that amateur background is very important.
Experience is everything, huh?
Yeah, and it helps us. I mean, he has that international experience, and it helped him in that fight. I mean, you got to give Jacobs credit. A lot of people say, well, he looked vulnerable against Jacobs. Jacobs is one of the best middleweights in the world, and he wasn't going to come to lay down for anyone. He came to win, and you know, it was a very close fight, a fight that could have been given a draw. It benefited Triple G. The reason being that he now knows what he needs to focus on, what he needs to fix. So in my eyes, it benefited him because it kind of gave him like a wide awakening. Like, you know what, I got to get back on my game.
Do you think
not so much that he was on off his game, but he needed to correct, maybe, or perfect certain techniques, or maybe just correct certain things.
You think we'll see a knockout this weekend? Is that likely?
It's very likely. Very, very likely. I don't know who will do it. I don't know who it will come from. I know Floyd says Canelo can win by knockout.
What do you think of Floyd's fight with, speaking of Floyd, Canelo, what do you think he learned from that Floyd fight, and how much has that helped him?
Probably learned what feints would do, what footwork does.
Yeah.
And everything that benefited Floyd, he now understands it, why.
Yeah.
But I see it a tough fight. It's a 50-50 fight. Either could win by knockout, but I believe that if someone wins by knockout, it will be Triple G.
Good stuff. Thank you.
And then Canelo by decision. We'll see.